Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you a very special message that I've received for a specific person or group of people. So this is going to be one of those readings that is really meant for a select number of people. And I use that word select very intentionally because, as you can tell from the title of this video, if this message is for you, you've been selected to take something spiritual into the mainstream. And this is actually a shift that you've been sensing within yourself. I got the words hermit mode. So I'm speaking to someone who has been through a period of time where you very much felt as though you were hermiting, where you were focused on yourself. I'm hearing going into some kind of cave. Maybe this was really withdrawing back into your own personal physical space, your home, spending a lot of time alone with yourself in some kind of metaphoric cave, some kind of home space, where you've actually been developing something on an energetic level. Now, for some of you, this might be something that you've actually been building and creating physically as well. But regardless of whether this creation has that physical component yet, really in a more generalized sense, what's been happening is you've been cultivating a kind of energy within yourself that is now meant to be taken out into the world. So if this video is for you, part of why you felt intuitively drawn to the title and the thumbnail is because you've been sensing this happening within yourself. You've been noticing that out of the blue, you've actually been desiring to put yourself out there in some way to connect with your community, with people around you, maybe even to create and share things online. And this shift has most likely felt a bit strange to you because you've spent so much time in that hermit mode that you might find a part of yourself doubting or questioning, is this really meant to be shared? Is this really the next stage of my journey? But it is, and that's why you felt intuitively pulled in that direction. So I'm going to be sharing and channeling more details and information for whoever this message is for. Of course, always use your intuition when it comes to these readings. Your intuition really is the compass of your life experience. And it's my goal through these readings to help you connect more consciously with what you already know on that deeper intuitive level. I also would like to share with you that if you would like a tool to really help you along this journey in bringing something spiritual, whether that's an energy, whether it's something specific you've been creating, into the mainstream, because this is a very powerful transformation taking place in your life. I've created a tool to really help you stay grounded through this process. And this is my Subliminals app. You guys know, who follow the channel, that I have been so passionate about subliminals because I've been using them for years in my personal life. And I've tried many different manifestation techniques, but nothing has brought me the same results that I've seen from using subliminals. And because of this, I've now created my very own virtual library of them. And I'm sharing that with you now through my mobile app, Sound and Soulful. This app is my passion project because I do feel so strongly about the power of subliminals in helping us to access the subconscious mind and manifest in our lives. So specifically for this reading, if you are already using the app, because I know that many of you are and are seeing powerful results, shifts, and transformations in your own life from using it. So if you are already using the app, then I really recommend checking out a subliminal I created recently called Balanced Transformation. This is one I've actually started incorporating into my daily routines as well. And I have already seen really profound results from it in terms of really staying stable, grounded, and catalyzing those powerful shifts and transformations, such as this shift that we're going to be channeling into in this reading, where you are going to be taking something. I keep wanting to use the word niche, like it's something more niche or that was more niche in the past that you are now bringing to the mainstream. So this subliminal will really help you to catalyze those transformations. Also, there are subliminals for aligning with your highest vibrational timeline. This is another one that I created recently. I wasn't even going to mention that in this reading, but I'm really feeling guided to share it as well, because I feel that this powerful transformation taking place isn't just about you taking something spiritual to the mainstream, but in the process of that, it's also about you really aligning with your personal highest vibrational timeline. So that subliminal will really help you to align magically with that highest vibrational timeline for yourself in all areas of your life, so that you can start seeing those positive shifts and manifestations in every area of your life. So if you are already using the app, you can add these subliminals to your playlist. I will be putting them under the video in the pinned comment and description box for reference. If you don't yet have the app, then I'll leave a link to download it under the video as well. And I really recommend just trying it out for 7 days. You can actually create an account and try it for free, so you can see how it works for you, how you begin to feel your energy shifting just within a few days of meditating with the subliminals I've created. So again, I will be leaving information on the app underneath this video. But I also wanted to let you know that I have some new tarot decks and oracle decks that I'm going to be incorporating into these readings. And this actually came up in a video that I posted yesterday, but this idea of giving yourself new tools and resources as you feel inspired, because these new tools are going to support you in this new phase that you're shifting into. So maybe this is coming up because you've been considering some kind of new tool, resource. Maybe there's some kind of training course or something that you've been looking at to actually, I'm hearing reading material. This could be a book, but something you've been looking at to support you in this new phase of your journey. And I'm hearing your resources and tools will be very unique and specific to you. So these tools may not necessarily be what works for other people or what other people recommend to you, but your intuition will sort this out for you, because it will feed to you those steps, that information on what tools you need to best move you forward in this journey. But let's go ahead and get back into kind of the main core of the message here, which is you taking something that was once considered niche, or it might still be somewhat considered that way. I feel like you're right on the fringe of something, as Abraham Hicks would call it, right on the leading edge of something. And I actually feel like you've been there for a long time, which is why for so long you felt lonely. I'm getting such a wave of chills right now. So I know that this is going to be connecting really strongly for whoever I'm speaking to here. But what I'm getting is that you've been ahead of the curve for a really long time, meaning that you've been working with energies that were once considered futuristic, but are now kind of merging with the now. So for a while, you've been creating in futuristic timelines. Now, we could do whole videos on what it means to work with past and future timelines. This is something that, if you're connecting with this specific video, you are most likely already doing. You might not really be conscious of it, but you are most likely someone who tends to work often with futuristic and even past timelines as well, because these future and past timelines, the energy of those timelines all affects the trajectory of our lives and the now moment. Yes, all of our power is in the now. However, we are capable of shifting the frequency of our now by actually working with both our past timelines and our future timelines as well. So let me know in the comments if you want a video on how to work with past and future timelines. Also, just in general, I would love to hear from you in the comments section. And while I'm shuffling here, if you would like me to channel more specifically for you and your situation, I do recommend subscribing to the channel, because subscribing is a form of energetic transference, and this does tend to allow me to pick up more easily on your energy and channel more specifically for you and your situation. So I'm starting in with one of my new Oracle decks, and this card deck is actually called What's the Vibe? I got it on Amazon. If you'd like to order a similar deck for your own practice or process. I'm not sure why I felt guided to say that, because I don't normally mention purchasing decks for your own practices. I just obviously assume that if you're someone who does tarot or does these kinds of readings and channelings, of course, you're already looking into that on your own. But for some reason, I felt the need to specifically say that. So maybe someone out there listening is actually a channeler in this kind of tarot reading sort of way. Maybe you have a gift for channeling. Of course, everyone has the ability to be a channel, but maybe you felt specifically guided to channel through tarot or through readings. So that could be relevant to someone exploring that direction. But here with the card waves, emotions, worry, fear. Yeah, so it's almost as though some new phase, this phase where you're meant to be more mainstream. Now, when I say more mainstream, yes, that could be in the literal sense of you sharing something with a wider audience, maybe even a global audience. Maybe you're creating online, sharing your art, your music, your business, putting yourself out there in some kind of literal way. But this also could be about you connecting more with your community, with the people around you, you being more social and sharing more of your energy in an active way with the world in some other sense. So take that however it's connecting. But what I'm getting is, as this phase is calling you into it, there are almost these waves of inspiration, but then there are also waves of worry and fear. So I'm getting that it's almost two sides of a coin here. You might be feeling a lot of both extremes around this new phase, where at certain moments you feel this wave of inspired energy that seems to push you into action in that new direction. And then at other times you suddenly become afraid or uncertain or begin to doubt this new shift. And again, I feel, as I said in the beginning, that those doubts are coming in because for so long you were guided to be in this more so hermit phase where you were more closed off from the world. And that time actually served a powerful purpose. I'm getting that was a necessary time in your life. It was necessary for your spiritual development. And during that time, that seems to be when you were actually working with those futuristic timelines and creating in your own future is what I'm getting here, which I know sounds really strange, but it's almost as though either energetically or literally, you were creating things that were building future worlds that you were eventually going to move into. Maybe these were things you were visualizing, manifesting, imagining. Maybe it was something literal that you were creating. For some reason, I heard publishing a book. Maybe someone published or shared something with the world. And initially, it didn't seem as though people really necessarily responded to it strongly. That's because you've been working with futuristic timelines. It's not because your creations haven't been powerful. It's because you've been working with the energy of your future, which is, as of when you're finding this video, becoming your now. I'm just getting this sense of that future you've been working with actually merging into the now. And this is reminding me of another download that I received that I wasn't even going to share necessarily in this video, but now I'm feeling really guided to it. And the message here is you've been creating things that the world has not been ready for. And then in parentheses, but they're ready now. So the things that you've been creating, again, whether it's something literal or whether it's more something you've been visualizing, daydreaming, putting focus into mentally, the world has not been ready for these things, which is why you were kept in a hermit mode. You were putting the energy into them. You were molding them in the energetic realm. But materially, it may have looked as though nothing was happening. Things weren't taking off. People weren't responding to them in the past. Things are different now, though, however. And I feel that the major obstacle that you're being asked to overcome at this time is having the courage to put these ideas across and out there into the world, in spite of the fact that in the past, this may have felt as though it wasn't bringing material results or wasn't working, because the energy here has entirely shifted. Again, those futuristic timelines you were working with for so long have now merged into the now. And I'm hearing effortless and easy. Your creations, your manifestations are going to begin materializing in a way that appears to others almost as though it's easy and effortless. But this is because you've been doing the energy work all along. You've actually been molding things into place. It's just that those results were not visible yet because the world was not fully ready for what you were creating. It's almost like you were working with futuristic timelines to create things that the world would want in the future, that people would be manifesting in the future, but weren't manifesting yet. I'm also getting the card clingy. So I feel like this speaks to a part of you being afraid, clinging on to kind of this old way of doing things, meaning this mode where you were hermiting, where you were really closed off. And like this reading has kind of been thematically centered around, these hermit modes may still come in waves. That idea of waves keeps coming up in the reading. So there may be moments where you do actually still feel called to kind of pull back, to maybe protect your energy a bit more, to withdraw, but then you'll feel that wave of being pushed forward again. And I'm getting that for a while, it might feel like waves until this energy and frequency really steadies and stabilizes itself. And that's when you'll really begin to see the physical manifestations flowing in a more powerful way. But I'm really curious what you are meant to be bringing into the mainstream. So I'm going to be pulling some messages around this. Okay, let's pull from messages from the universe. I'm not really sure if these cards are equipped to answer this question, but a card just really popped out here. And this card says, live your life to its fullest potential. Let go of the need for approval from others. Live up to your own expectations and nobody else's. No more selling yourself short. Keep moving forward. You've got this. Wow. So I wondered if this deck was equipped to answer that specific question, just because I've never really looked through it or used it before. And I guess that's a resounding yes, because that feels like a really powerful answer to the question that we were looking into there. Now, I do want to see if there are any cards from the traditional tarot that we can pull here as well. This has been one of those interesting readings because there's actually not been many cards that have been coming up in the reading. And yet I feel that this message has been so powerful and specific to a certain group of people. Okay, here we have the King of Cups in the upright position. I'm hearing staying connected to your emotions is the key to manifesting this dream timeline, with the Nine of Cups here as well. I'm also getting that there may be specific actions you are taking or things you are doing that are really keeping you connected to your heart space here, and or really opening your throat chakra. I'm actually getting both, that something you are doing seems to actually be both opening your throat chakra and also keeping you connected to your heart, and then sort of combining those energies. Now, I am getting kind of a message here as well that as you are becoming more mainstream in a sense, you are going to notice that people who feel as though they missed an opportunity with you are going to be coming out of the woodwork. And there's a message of guidance not to reactivate karmic lessons and contracts you've already completed. These lessons could come in the form of people, but they also could come in the form of thought forms, old thought forms trying to trigger you or pull you back into them. These old thought forms and even people from your past are going to sense, in fact, they already are sensing that you are shifting more into the mainstream here in a sense, whatever that means for you. And so they're going to be coming out of the woodwork, trying to sort of ride on your energy into this higher timeline that they've not done the work themselves to really fully be able to access and sustain without being codependently connected to you energetically. And when it comes to these thought forms, this could be old patterns that you've already healed that might suddenly feel triggered as you're feeling this shift within yourself. I'm hearing beware of anything that restricts your freedom. So that could be a person, that could be a group, that also could be a thought form, an old pattern that used to entrap you within it. So I'm going to go ahead and close this reading here, although I feel we're really going to be channeling much more into this in future reading videos. So if you're connecting with my energy, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. And if you would like to incorporate my subliminals that I recommended in this reading to benefit you through this powerful transformation taking place in your life, I'll be leaving the names of those subliminals as well as a link to the app underneath this video in the description box. Otherwise, I am wishing you all an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.